Hey, alright. My internet drops. I don't know what the fuck happened. Drops from everything. I guess I gotta change the chat again. What I do, what I do, what I do. I'm excited for this. Hopefully Stacy comes by. I think I waited till took too long for him, but we'll see. God damn it. Regardless though, I'm doing it. Alright. Alright. So boom. Let's do this. So I already got two up here already organized. I got the Marvel one organized. I got the this one kind of organized. Because as you can see, I don't do S tier. I don't believe in S's. What the fuck? When we went to school, it was A, B, C, D, F. I always thought it was weird that we skipped over E. Because, F stands for failure, so I get it. But is the other, A is the highest thing. Okay. And yeah, there is no E. Sometimes I see people have an E. No. All right. So we're doing Quentin Tarantino movie tier list. This is all the ones that he directed and written, but none of them were just the ones that he just written. And this one, honestly, they're all probably A. But I can be honest and subjective, but they're all gonna go out top, honestly. Right off the bat, first one, his first movie, Reservoir Dogs. It's A, but I can almost put it in B because Pulp Fiction, I feel like it's kind of like Reservoir Dogs, but in terms of it being a crime gangster movie, and Pulp Fiction, he was able to do it in kind of a bigger scale. But Reservoir Dogs, the characters are great. It's written well, really funny, tense. Yeah, it is pretty simple, but it's still great. It's fantastic. I love it. Mr. Pink is the best. Pulp Fiction, of course, that's A. That's probably, in my opinion, it's hard to say that because there's another movie we haven't gotten to yet that I think is his best movie, but this one really, really, you know, even the Reservoir Dogs got people's attention. I think Pulp Fiction is really what put him on the map as like as one of the greats because that movie is just balls to the walls crazy without being obnoxious. So cool, written so well, soundtrack. And honestly, that movie's kind of simple. I rewatched it, and you know, besides like Jack Rabbit Slims, there's nothing too elaborate with it, but it's a great movie. Samuel L. Jackson, John Travolta, they're fantastic, and just every other side character, Bruce Willis, fucking, you should know the guy's name. The the guy that plays Marcellus Wallace, Uma Thurma, fucking Honey Bunny, and fucking Bruce Willis's girlfriend. Oh, great. The fucking gimp. It's crazy. So Jackie Brown. This one, this is where it does not deserve A territory, but I will give it a C because at first I kind of hated this movie, but then I learned that it's really funny. Quentin Tarantino is a very funny guy. His writing is always great, but I feel like the characters in this one were just not as hard hitting as it was in Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs. I really don't remember any quotes from Jackie Brown all that much. I do. I guess there is one where Samuel L. Jackson explains to Robert De Niro how to lock his car or how to unlock it. And tell him wait until he had to sound ooh 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 ooh. You know, some cars they make that noise ooh 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 ooh. But I think it's all right. You know, honestly, for Quentin Tarantino's average, is still like above most movies. So all Quentin Tarantino's movies are like that. All right, this one I think is his best movie. Kill Bill. It's so hard for me to say which one's better, Kill Bill or Pulp Fiction. I absolutely love Kill Bill. Kill Bill, honestly, might be my favorite movie. I credit it as probably being the first really adult movie I've seen. Probably the first rated R movie I've seen. Just the action scene alone at the end of Uma Thurman slaughtering a bunch of people with her samurai sword is one of the best fight scenes ever, in my opinion, if not the greatest fight scene of all time. And just even the movie throughout is great with the anime scene. The beginning fight scenes are fantastic too. And then her Uma Thurman just coming through her struggles and shit. It's fantastic. I give it an A. And I love the writing of it, of course, and the metaphor of it, of the revenge cycle, because this is Quentin Tarantino first stepping into revenge movies. People kind of notice from after Kill Bill's point, all his movies are kind of revenge movies, and I do agree with that. All right, so Kill Bill. Then Kill Bill 2. Honestly, this one is lower. Kill Bill 2 is not as great. I might even put a, I hate to say a C. I want to give it a B, but honestly, because it lacks the action. I hate to be like that. It does have a great fight scene. Yeah, it's great. It's pretty great with Uma Thurman and the lady with the eye patch. They have a pretty hardcore fight scene, smashing through that trailer. But it doesn't have that big end fight scene like Kill Bill did. It does still have great writing because, you know, it's Quentin Tarantino. But it's just not as, like, versive to me, or visive. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It didn't really strike me as hard as Kill Bill, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs. So, I hate to do it, but it kind of does deserve C territory. Because honestly, with the end fight scene, where it finally is time for Bill to die, when she finally tries to kill Bill, that fight scene kind of sucks. I get it with Quentin Tarantino with they set up this move, but especially after the last one where they had a really epic fight scene, and it just kind of felt too quick. I think that's what I'm really getting at. That fight between her and Bill was just too quick. It was just them kind of, all right, blocking their hits a little bit, and then she does the 5-finger death punch. I kind of wanted more than that. She had like a full on. I get it. David Carradine is an old dude. He's not really doing stunts like he's used to. I mean, and I really do like the sensei and the training scene sequences that we got, but the Bud part, I like Bud, but it was just kind of like too sad. He just ended up too much like a loser. All right, let's move on. So after that was Death Proof, and I hate to be cliche, because I don't think any Quentin Tarantino movie deserves a D or F. So yeah, it's just gonna go into C territory because it's all right. It's short and it's just kind of just simplistic. I kind of like his more complex films, but this one is just his attempt of a horror movie, which that's awesome. I feel like we should get more of that. Quentin Tarantino's horror, and for what he did with this, especially the car crash scene, is pretty gory. He did a very good job with that. Because a lot of horror movies they fuck up by not showing that shit, but he showed it. It was like, how the hell did he even do that? Looks so real, and car chase scene is pretty awesome. But the writing in this, I don't remember any fucking quotes. I barely remember any of the characters' names. I remember Kurt Russell's character's name is Stuntman Mike, but you see, it's not as striking and memorable as the A tier ones. So, gonna give it a C. Django, or no, Inglorious Bastards. Ooh, God, I hate to be this. I'm gonna give it a B. I want to give it an A, but honestly, Inglorious Bastards can be kind of boring. I hate to be like that. Sound like a fucking short attention span nitwit, but when I first watched it, yeah, I was a short attention span nitwit little kid, and I immediately kind of turned off real quick because it was just I was not understanding it, especially in the beginning. Speaking French and it's real dialogue heavy. Because it's like the first Kill Bill, that shit started off with violence and a fight right away. But this was just a lot of slow talking. I didn't immediately give up on it because I did like the Nazi, which Christoph Waltz, Auslanda, does make me want to give it NA territory, just his character alone, because his character is great. But the Shoshana parts are kind of boring to me. Because when she is at the cafe and then meets the sniper, it's kind of like whatever. I'll be honest. I just want more of the bastards, and I feel like the bastards they didn't really do enough. I thought there'd be more of them having shootouts and whatnot, but you do have like kind of spurt montages of them kicking ass and shit. But I want a little bit more with like a firefight and stuff like that, and that was kind of more of a covert secret operations type stuff, and I come to love that more as I got older because I can appreciate dialogue and the sets. It's very interesting. Quentin Tarantino doing a World War II movie. This is his first period piece, and it was very interesting how realistic and just attention to detail that he is. But I gotta give it a B. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people have a high esteem for it. Think it's probably his best, but even people say the last line is him saying, "This might be my masterpiece." That's Quentin Tarantino saying this is his best work. But I think Kill Bill is a bit better than that. All right, now Django. And Django, I think that belongs in A territory. Probably. Yeah, I hate to say it. I don't know. Is it better than Reservoir Dogs? It's not better than Pulp Fiction. I do like Pulp Fiction more, but I think it is a little bit better than Reservoir Dogs because the action in Django is pretty crazy. Just like how with Kill Bill, the shootouts in Django are insane, especially the big N1 where he's going through that mansion. I wish they kind of maybe did a little bit more with that, but they did a pretty good job amount of having a big shootout, and the characters are really memorable. The writing is great, so I really enjoy Django. I, and it was more gripping to me than Glorious Bastards was. I was more enthralled of what was going on. So, and it was just really awesome. Cowboy Quentin Tarantino. He should just do nothing but cowboy movies, which he does do another one, Hateful Eight, which I honestly really love. Kind of want to put in A territory, but damn, kind of want to put in A territory because I really like Hateful Eight, even though there's not much action to it. But it does really kind of strike me. I have seen it a few times because I just really like it. But oof, 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 oof. I'm gonna put an A, the lowest A, because I think I do like Where's for Dogs more. Find that a little funnier. And again, Django, it's kind of more that crazy gunslinging western that I want more than what the Hateful Eight provides. But the Hateful Eight characters are so great. I really love, especially um fucking Walter Goggins' character. It's hilarious, and Kurt Russell and Daisy Dahmer Goop and Samuel Jackson's character and the other bad cowboy characters. They're great, but man, I hate to demote it to B because I think it's not really like, you know, because I want to say it's like not my favorite movies of all time. With the A categories, I like those are like my favorite movies of all time as well. So I hate to say it, I love you A Flight, but you're going down to B because these are just more. The A tier ones are just more striking as movies than I gotta give Hateful Eight. And now this one, I had mixed feelings when I first watched it because primarily it's kind of my fault. With the Once Upon a Time, I heard about how Quentin Tarantino was making a Marilyn Manson movie. I heard that for years. And I was really expecting it being like heavily focused on Marilyn Manson, or excuse me, Charles Manson. And then the movie turned out to be he's not even in the movie really. He's in it for like 2 minutes. Charles Manson's really about these two guys, and what they do is not much. It's just them working. There's no like that Quentin Tarantino action that I love in Kill Bill and Django. There's no real big shootout or anything. Now the ending is crazy. There's a dope ending where Brad Pitt kicks the ass of the fucking Charles Manson family. And again, I learned to realize that this movie is really funny. Quentin Tarantino is a hilarious writer. Rick Dalton, how he's just suppressed and trying his best to be an actor because being an actor is hard, of knowing your lines and whatnot. And again, the production value of this is great. It really looks like fucking the 60s, lots of cars and people dressed up. But Yeah. Again, I'm giving it a B. And I think I do like Hateful Eight more than it. Because I like that cowboy aesthetic more. And Glorious Bastards had more of that harsh action. And Christoph Waltz characters is fantastic. So it probably is the lowest B in that sense, but still a great movie. I've come to learn that it's really funny, and it could be any dumb average fucking movie. So here we go. My list: Quentin Tarantino's best of his movies in A's. Kill Bill. I gotta say that probably is my favorite of his. It's hard saying that, but I think it is. Pulp Fiction. So yeah, I think that one's probably my favorite. My favorite, but I think I do like that Kill Bill end fight scene. Is just that changed my life, people. Then Django. Django's great with again the writing, the characters, the shootout, the aesthetic of cowboy. Reservoir Dogs. Just the characters alone are really great. It's funny. Might give it a B, honestly, but I really do love Reservoir Dogs. And those scenes. Then we go down to Glorious Bastards. It's a B because it is kind of boring. B for boring. But as I grown older, I learned to appreciate it and love it more. And it's interesting Quentin Tarantino doing World War II. Then Hateful Eight. It's nice that he went back to another cowboy one, but Django honestly is better. His best cowboy movie. But the characters in Hateful Eight are great. And the whole scenario of it being a murder mystery, I like it. Once Upon a Time, again, like I said, I wanted a whole Marilyn Manson movie, Charles Manson movie, but for what we got, it is good, really funny. The whole idea of a burnt out actor is, and I like that kind of Quentin Tarantino went a meta route with things about the movie business in general, doing movies about movies. So, and there's a lot to learn from it. Quentin Tarantino is such a knowledgeable person about the movie industry. Then we go to the C's here. Jackie Brown. It's, I could give it a B, but I feel like it's just nothing, kind of boring as well. I hate to say boring because they all Quentin Tarantino movies are pretty intriguing, but the action scenes there aren't really any like there are in Kill Bill, and I feel like just the writing was better in Pulp Fiction and all the other movies above Jackie Brown here, and the characters because the writing was better in the other one. That means also the characters were better in the other ones where they're just more memorable and whatnot. And that kind of goes along the same lines with Kill Bill here. It's just really, I mean, I could honestly put it in B as well, but it just really cut itself from not having those extreme action scenes as the first Kill Bill did. And I don't want to say the writing is bad, because no, it's not. It's great too. What am I saying? I don't know. I think also to mention in the first Kill Bill, I really love that Tokyo aesthetic, and with Kill Bill, they don't go to Tokyo, so it kind of kills that for me. It's just like this Mexican, the kids go to Mexico when in the desert. And I kind of like that more samurai aesthetic, but I do like. I guess they do go to Tokyo, where she trains with that Fu Manchu guy. I forgot his name. See, got fucked. If they were in China. And then Death Proof, because that one's just kind of just too simple. But for what he does in that simplicity, he does very well with the gore and the big end chase scene, which that one is crazy because the lady, Zoe Bell, she was actually just hanging on to that car, no harness or anything. But I hate to say it, the characters slack, the writing kind of slacks, but it's still a great horror movie, and I do recommend it. I recommend all his movies. Quentin Tarantino, the best director out there right now. It's so sad that he's going to end, but it is pretty awesome. He does a podcast. I need to catch up on it, where he talks about movies that just older movies and whatnot. It's pretty dope to hear him talk. So this is it right here, and hopefully his last movie is the top of the top. I think it probably is going to be Kill Bill 3. He talked about that on the Joe Rogan show. He kind of went like into detail about what he wants to do with this. I'm like, I think he's doing that. I think he's gonna do that, but we'll see. All right, another one that's kind of contentious with me is Marvel movies. I'm a big Marvel movie fan and apologist, honestly. I'm an apologist for these Marvel movies. I do wish I should have done a little bit more research, because this is just phase 1 to 3. I did not get one with the most recent ones. I kind of fucked up. I fucked up in that. Maybe I should look. God damn it, I organized this too and everything. Uh-oh. Oh my god. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, good. I thought I so I do want all of them. Let's see. So it's like this just goes up to Shang-Chi. Okay, I guess we could do this one. Okay. I wish they put this in order too, because I like to go in order with these. And again, we gotta do a little editing. I don't believe in this shit. I don't believe in S tiers. That's like a participation trophy. S tier. Fuck that. I don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. Alright. So here we go. First Iron Man. A tier. Because it's the only one that really I feel it is realistic. Like, this is the Dark Knight of the Marvel world, where it's a gritty, dark, but they didn't do the overly dark with like Dark Knight did because of the Joker. Because Marvel's still a little bit more upbeat than that, but still, this one is pretty damn dark, especially the whole terrorist aspect. I mean, with it, what kind of wants me bring it down is the end fight scene sucks ass, honestly. but I kind of forgive it because the rest of the movie's pretty tight, especially when he does kick some terrorist ass. That scene is pretty cool. Kind of just make me wish that he just did that in even a bigger scale at the end, but he just fought like a worse version of himself. Fucking Jeff Bridges. It's crazy that Jeff Bridges is in it too. Keep forgetting that. He's the bad guy. Why is the dude the bad guy? Oh man, I got the fucking hiccups. Alright. After that was Hulk. And I'm kind of leaning C towards that. Because it's kind of boring. I'll be honest. The Hulk movies, there's something about Hulk where they always make it depressing. And I get it because Hulk is a very tormented character. It sucks that Bruce Banner is the Hulk. He doesn't really want to be the Hulk, becoming an uncontrollable monster and just destroying a bunch of shit. But they make it just like kind of too Debbie Downer, and which it results makes the movie kind of just depressing and boring to watch. But when it does have the Hulk fight scenes, they're pretty good. But I kind of felt that I went a little bit more with it. The action scenes, they were just kind of quick and whatever. Especially the end fight scene where he fights the Abomination. I barely remember it. And when he fights the army in the middle of it. I hate to say it like that. I think the Ang Lee Hulk, when it came to action, was kind of better. Where it really showed him destroying shit. This one, it was a little just too contained. I hate to even go lower, but I might even go to D. Ooh. Am I doing that? Am I putting Hulk down to D? Oof. We might be here. We might be. We'll see. I might change my opinion. Alright. Iron Man 2. This one might be even F. Hate to do that. I don't know. Maybe D, because Robert Downey Jr. is still pretty tight. But the action scenes were lamer. So when he's in the race, the fucking fight scene is kind of so quick. He just puts on a suit, starts blasting. Fucking whatever's Mickey Rourke. And again, it's kind of just copies the end fight scene of the first one, where it's a guy that copies an Iron Man suit. I will give it, they did a little bit more with it because they had to fight minions and shit. And that kind of that scene where War Machine and Iron Man are back to back, fucking up robots is kind of good. But overall, pretty shitty. I feel like they could have went darker with his alcoholism. I feel like they went by so quick with it, and that's a big point in his comics. Or maybe they should have really making mistakes, maybe accidentally get someone killed. But the way they tackled it, oh wait, I'm gonna keep it as F. Hate to say it. Which leads on to another movie. I'm not gonna give it F. First Store, kind of a D, maybe C. I'm kind of feeling D for it. Because honestly, it's pretty boring. Now, I do like the Asgard parts in Loki. Loki's is good, but he kind of gets better. Really gets to shine in Avengers. I feel like that's where he really came. He's kind of forgettable, kind of just whiny bitch, honestly. So I hate to do it. I think for a store, Kai lands in a D spot. Kat Dennings really annoying. Fucking Natalie Portman is just whatever. The end fight scene where he fights that like one-eyed Asgard thing. I don't really remember it. So there we go. Captain America. This one. Where's Captain America? See if they put in a fucking order. There we go. This one, not. I say it's not going to get anything lower than a C. Don't think it's going to get B. Maybe. Because I do like Captain America. Red Skull. Not a bad villain. I like the design, and just Hugo Weaving is great as a Nazi. The action scenes are not bad. The train scene is pretty good, and I feel like I do have a dream movie in my mind with Captain America, because I remember seeing this short film, fan film on YouTube of Captain America on D-Day, and I wish they had something like that where it's kind of more grounded in the World War II aesthetic, like how Captain America, how Iron Man was with terrorism and modern day warfare. So I kind of wish Captain America did that with World War II a little bit. If it did that, I think that could have been an A. But because of that, I think it's going to C. Alright. Now, Avengers. Where's the first Avengers movie? That is getting an A. Because seeing that spectacle of a bunch of different movie characters finally coming together in one movie was amazing on its own. But they went above and beyond that, and the action was actually legit. It was nonstop. It was just one cool fight scene after another. And again, just seeing those costumes from different aesthetics all being in one movie is tight. It was funny. It was a good time. Probably the movie I saw the most ever in theaters. Alright, now next, Iron Man 3. And this one, I hate to say it, worse than Iron Man 2, but not really. I kind of line up with this movie because I got really mad that they changed up the character of the Mandarin, but the movie itself is still pretty good. But they really simplified the action because he's barely in his Iron Man suit. That's the whole point in this one. He's not Iron Man, really. It's just all Tony Stark. So because of that, it's going to be a D. In the end fight scene, it's kind of whatever. Fucking, where that guy's name? Guy something. Is it Guy Pearce or whatever the fuck? He sucks as a villain. Especially, it's kind of just cringy seeing him as nerdy. It's like, what are you doing, movie? Alright. I think Captain America 2 was next. And this one is a B. This one's tight. The action is really great. The intrigue, drama of it is pretty good. It didn't really feel like cheesy at all. In a sense, like it was cringy, like The writing was bad. They had a little dumb moment where they're in the mall, but even that, it was like whatever. Not that horrible. It was kind of before they really started hammering all these Marvel jokes and this shit. So I really enjoyed Captain America 2, which I think the next is Thor 2, and that's Thor 2 might be F tier because that one is probably the most boring of the Marvel movies. It's just so bland. Barely remember shit. Filmed too dark too, but the subject matter isn't really dark. It's just kind of just forgettable. So I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh. I should rewatch it, but as I can remember, it's not that great. But you know what is great? Guardians. Guardians 1 is amazing. It's like Star Wars, honestly. I feel like I was watching Star Wars where got a bunch of cool characters in space, cool planets and whatnot, space traveling. I like it. Maybe the action could have been a little better, but it was pretty great still, regardless. But you know, wasn't all that great. Avengers 2, this gets a C, which kind of sucks to say because the first one is so amazing, seeing these clash of characters, but they didn't really add anyone new in it. I think that was the problem. The Scarlet Witch and fucking what's his face, Quicksilver. It was odd. I think I hate to say it, it didn't help it that the X-Men movies had a better Quicksilver. I do like his scene though. I've been kind of recalling that because lately there's been a lot of those slow motion scenes in superhero movies, and I recall that this one had a pretty good one, but it doesn't really save it. I guess the fight scene between Hulk and Iron Man is pretty good, and the end fight scene kind of bland because it's just again fighting a bunch of faceless characters and whatnot, and it wasn't as funny as the first one was. The writing was way better in the first one, so this one I don't want to say it's god awful because it has some good action, but besides that, there's not much to it. And after that, we got Ant-Man, which honestly, I dig these movies. I like Ant-Man. And I like the first one pretty well, but is it B? It's definitely not A. Is it B though? I don't think so. I think it stays C. It's pretty average, but solid. It's good. I like the new power introduction of the Marvel universe of the shrinking and whatnot. You know, the fight scenes of it is pretty good. And Paul Rudd, he's not bad. I dig Paul Rudd. Michael Douglas is good. The villain is kind of so-so because now we're kind of getting tired of it just being the villain is a copy of the good guy. It's like, can you do a little something different? But for what it is, it's alright. Then I believe Civil War is after. And Civil War, I honestly give it a B. I was thinking about giving it a C because I heard these critics, they did not like it, and the big argument for them was because the comic book is way better and the actual character motivations don't really make too much sense because you would think that Iron Man would be the guy that's like, fuck the government, and Captain America being like, we should trust the government more, but it's complete opposite. Captain America is the rebellious guy, and Iron Man, it's like we need oversight, which I guess they were building it up, so it's hard to say it doesn't make sense. But overall, I think what really saves this movie is just the fight scenes, and of course the introduction of Spider-Man and even Black Panther. It's cool to really see him as well. We've been wanting him for quite a bit, but I think I do agree with the comic being better. Is that because the comic book, is all the fucking Marvel characters going at it, and this one is just very small scale. So it would have been cooler. Maybe they saved this idea for the future. But for what they did, it was alright. Alright. So after that, let's just say Thor 3 was after that. And Thor 3 gets a B as well. Maybe close to A territory because it is pretty great. Thor 3 amazingly breaks the curse of the shitty Thor movies because Taika Waititi knows what he's doing until I guess he does it. But honestly, I'm a defender of Thor 4. I wish that was on here, but whatever. Taika Waititi makes it funner. He's a funnier guy. Also, the playoff of Hulk and Thor is great. Jeff Goldblum was funny. The worlds, because Thor, I think also a big curse of the Thor movies that Thor sticks around on Earth too much. He should be in fantasy lands and whatnot. So it's cool to see him explore different parts and go to that junk world and whatnot. So I dig Thor 4. And another one I dig too is Doctor Strange, the first one. Might be even again close to air territory because I really dug the action of Doctor Strange in the majestic world. I forgot what that mirror world that he goes to, but that's really tight. And what they do with it at the end with the time and stuff. So I really dig Doctor Strange. I like Doctor Strange as a character as well. I do admit that Benedict Cumberbatch is kind of feeling like he's doing a ripoff of Robert Downey Jr., Tony Stark, but it's not a bad ripoff. If you're gonna rip off a charming character or whatnot, why not? I guess. And then let's just go Guardians 2, which that one kind of want to give it C, but it could go up to B because it's not that bad. I do like Kurt Russell, but it's not as good as the first one, which kind of is a bummer. They split up the team, which is a bummer. But there are some funny moments. It tries a little too hard to be funny, kind of. But I think we're giving it a C. Guardians 2 is a C. I hate to be like that, but could have been a little better. Music wasn't as good as the first one. Not as memorable of a soundtrack, but what can you do? Then Spider-Man. This one, gotta give it a C. Because Toby ones are way better. Gotta be honest. Not way better, but they're better. It's nice that this one's better than The Amazing Spider-Man, but I feel like the end fight scene, it was filmed too dark. I remember having that big complaint that I couldn't see shit. But it is nice to see Spider-Man kind of more simplistic in a way, where it's not like just a big bombastic heavy drama as the Sam Raimi ones, but this one's still pretty dramatic as well. And I feel like just the side characters in Toby one is better as well. Meaning, Ned, he's okay. I mean, I don't really mind Ned. Zendaya, again, I think they're just trying a little too hard to be funny all the time. Too kiddish, I felt. But for what it is, it's not bad. The action's pretty good. It's nice seeing Spider-Man being in the Marvel world and playing off Iron Man. So I can't hate on it too hard, but it doesn't get tons of love. Black Panther 2, another one that doesn't get tons of love, and honestly, I think it's kind of overrated because the action slacked. Like I feel like Black Panther himself kind of looked bad CGI wise. Hate to be like this, kind of might make me feel a little racist, but I think it's giving it a D. I'm thinking of being honestly forgiving to it because when you think of the lore of Black Panther and Wakanda, it's kind of stupid. Where it's this high functioning society, but they still have a monarchy, and anyone can take over this monarchy by having a one-on-one fight with the king of Wakanda. It's like, what the hell? This is dumb. I get it, you have some action scene, but when you really think about it, like, what functioning government does this? Modern day functioning government does this. And I think everyone gives Michael B. Jordan a little too much credit. I like him. He's great in The Wire, but in this, he's just kind of whatever. Alright. What will be after that? Thinking is it Avengers? I think it's Avengers Infinity War, and this one is A tier. This one, again, with just the mixing of these characters, Guardians and the Earth Avengers coming together finally. That aesthetic blend is great. And it's just really awesome how they bounce off each other. It's funny. The action, fantastic. And again, just like the first Avengers, non-stop with it. Thanos, a great villain. Just like how first Avengers had a great villain with Loki. So this one, I gotta give it an A tier, and probably honestly my favorite. All of them. Kind of hard to say between the first Avengers, but I gotta rewatch it, and I'd be more than happy to do that. All right, then I think Ant Man 2, and this one can go D tier. Pretty forgettable. Don't even remember it. I remember it had some cool parts with him finally getting big. But I remember the villain sucked. Fucking kind of a waste of Lawrence Fishburne. Everyone just kind of forgives each other. Waste of Christoph Walter Goggin. Walter Goggin deserves way better. I might even give it an F tier for fucking wasting his time. Because he could be a great villain addition to fucking the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's kind of making him just like a joke agent guy. Damn. Really considering. But I think I was give it a D for right now. It's not total garbage. Unlike Captain Marvel, I don't want to seem sexist, but it's pretty F territory. It's just really forgettable, and I don't know, it's just dumb, forgettable and dumb. What can I say? Like, even has Samuel Jackson as being a main part, but he's not great in it. It had to be like that. And the space stuff is kind of bland, and the sets kind of feel small. Like she's in this town, but this town feels really empty. It's like there's not much to it. So F tier. Had to do it. Maybe I could be forgiving with D, but also I just don't like Captain Marvel or really care about that superhero in general either. Alright. Now I'm a sexist. Endgame. I give it a B. It's good. The end fight scene is great, especially with the clash of just now every single character all together in one scene is really cool to see. But I feel like the action slacked a little bit, especially through the middle portion of the movie, because it was basically just them going back to the past of the greatest moments of Marvel, but they don't really do anything within that. There's just kind of like some dialogue moments, but no real action with it. The only one I can remember is Captain America fighting himself, and it was like whatever fight scene. But the end fight scene's really worth it. But again, I think there's better ones with it. Could even possibly be a C, but I think I'll be a little more forgiving that Thanos is pretty good. He was better than the first one though, but this one he's still alright. Then the second Spider-Man, Tom Holland. I kind of rate the same, maybe kind of a little lower, maybe because it is kind of like I barely remember it. But I think it's kind of just my fault for not rewatching it. I think if I do rewatch it, I kind of enjoy it. But I can't find those elemental things. Yeah, it was like whatever, kind of empty feeling. Mephisto, I always wanted to see Mephisto, and what they kind of did it was, like I said, not that memorable. Had to do it. I think I might give it D. I think I might give it a D. TBH. Yeah, giving it a D. Now, here we go. Black Widow. Yeah. That could be F too, but I'm kind of forgiving of it. I kind of didn't mind it as everyone else did in the world, but looking back on it, kind of really forgettable. I hate to do it because I like Scarlett Johansson. She's really hot. But movie kind of slacked. The movie kind of slacked. Eternals. I'm pretty forgiving of this movie. Again, a lot of people saying this is the worst one. It is the worst rated, but I honestly didn't mind it. I liked the demonstration of like different powers in this movie because it's all about powered beings, and it kind of went more adult. It had like there was a little sex scene and shit. It is too long, but I did like God, Kujami's character. I think I totally butchered his name. The Pakistani actor. I was about to say Indian, but he's not Indian. He's Pakistani. He's real. He's always funny. He's funny as shit. But the kid character in the movie is kind of dumb. How she betrayed them. That was really stupid. So kind of maybe could put it in C, but TBH. Got a low C. I'll give it a low C. Honestly, could be in D, but I don't think it's that bad. I mean, I wouldn't really say it's bad. It's just kind of okay. The only part that kind of makes it bad is that it's just kind of too long. Before it was I guess. I mean, it's like because it's about these people that live forever, and so there's a lot of flashbacks, and that could be kind of those could have been cut, but that's alright. Shang-Chi. This one kind of the same problem of being overlong, especially with the end. But it's kind of cool for what they did with the Chinese mythos. But for being like the kung fu guy, I think the action could have been a little better with that. A little bit better kung fu. But I do love that kung fu stuff, so I think I'll give it a high C. And let me move this around a little bit. That seems. I mean, it really don't matter. This is all like just one thing. And this one, last but not least, Spider-Man: No Way Home, A tier. It's really awesome seeing all the Spider-Man together, and not only that, also seeing the villains come back too, especially William Dafoe, Green Goblin. He really stole the show. He was awesome. William Dafoe, just such a great dramatic actor. And the action throughout the movie is really solid, and I think Tom Holland really got to prove himself with this one, with his acting chops. So I think that about does it. This is my list right here. Oh man, I put all the female superhero movies F. I'm so sexist. I'm horrible. Horrible. Oh wow. Alright, that's gonna do it. I can't do any more. I thought maybe I can do some, but I think that does it for tonight. That was fun. I'll do more. I like rambling through my reasoning. So here we go. Got the Marvel. So A tier. Avengers Infinity War, because non-stop action, funny, and seeing the clash of Guardians characters and Marvel characters come together. Even though I wish it was like all of them together. Sadly, the groups are all split apart, but still, it's really great. Maybe Avengers, the first one's kind of a little better than that because it is all of them together. So again, it didn't really matter. Avengers up there. Again, the clash of all those characters finally being in one movie. Great. With the non-stop action and being really funny. Iron Man, because it's dark, realistic, kind of like the Dark Knight of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, him fighting terrorists. Kind of wish Marvel did more along the lines of that. But Iron Man did it, and that's why it's one of the best for it. Guardians of the Galaxy is really just fun seeing the space movie. A lot of sci-fi's I feel lately been going too hard on the realistic route, and the like more fantasy ones in the early 2000s kind of suck. So it's kind of cool seeing this one be great with interesting characters. Rocket Raccoon and Groot. I like Chris Pratt. What can I say? I'm a Chris Pratt apologist a little bit. Then Far From Home. Just seeing the clash of those characters come together. All the Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man movie. Alright, I'm done explaining. I'm tired.